Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. For this week, we are going to have a slight shift in content. Usually, we kind of sit in the mental health realm and talk about personal things and all of that. But today we're going to talk about something a little on the personal side, but we're going to shift to car talk. And the reason why we're doing that is because a statement got dropped yesterday that hit really close to home. And it's not something I was originally going to talk about, but I think overseeing it so much, I was like, damn, you know what? I feel like I need to kind of address this, at least for myself, talk about it in the whole shot. Can't speak for other people, but I can at least speak on how it affects me and just kind of the way I feel about it, you know? So, for those of you who are in the automotive community who are watching this podcast or listen to it in some way, shape, or form, you guys already know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know or have literally no idea even to what I'm like alluding towards, Irwindale Speedway is closing. They put out their official statement yesterday, and Albert sent it to me. It's not something I thought that I was going to see anytime soon. And I mean, it's here. It's a thing. It's out. It is what it is. And at first, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it almost didn't seem real. And for some people, it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, it's closing down, whatever. But it is a big deal, at least for me and for a lot of people within just the kind of motorsport realm or who've kind of fell into that world. It's a major hit. For a lot of us, I think that's where car culture started. It's where it kind of launched us into certain aspects of performance. Because I don't think everybody kind of starts there. I don't think a lot of people even understand or know what Irwindale is or what it offers or what it's all about. But for me, that's really what started my kind of like love for performance cars. I've always liked cars in general since I was a kid. But when it comes to the heavy performance, high horsepower type shit, like really getting down and modifying and trying to get everything ready so you can hit the track and do what you got to do, it was at Irwindale. I started around 7-8 years old, just roughly in that realm, when my uncle had his RX-7. He had a street port built to shit. It was fucking awesome. It was fast as all hell. And if he wasn't on the street, that's where he was at. So for me, it meant a lot. Irwindale means a lot because, again, that was my gateway into everything. And it kind of just snowballed into everything else because I never got away from it. Irwindale has always represented something special for me. And I know it's represented something very special for a lot of people here in Southern California, especially within the high horsepower community or people who are just within drag, anything like that. If you had an event to do there, if you had a reason to go, Irwindale means something to you. But reading the statement and just kind of feeling how real that is and seeing how real that is, and you're like, damn, dude. You know, they listed out the dates of certain shows that are coming up, and that's it. Like, it's over. It's done. And I think the hit overall to the community is going to be so severe because we've already lost one other track that was here. And for, especially in my area where I'm at, like in LA, the other track is really far away, but it's still something that you're willing to make the trek out towards. But when AAA closed down, that was something that was already like a massive blow because AAA was also a huge representative for motorsport culture here because it housed so many events across all kinds of different platforms, all kinds of different things for people, whatever. So many things happened to AAA. So when AAA went down, everybody was like, okay, well, fuck, at least we still have Irwindale. And now Irwindale's tanking, right? Like that's it. It's done. And tracks like that are getting closed all over the place. Well, I think I can't even speak for like all over the place, but I know here in California, like shit's definitely getting closed down. We still have a handful. Well, not even a handful. I think we have 2 left, but it's not enough. And when shit like this happens, it's like, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, as a community, what are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to go? Because we can't host events anymore. We can't do stuff because there's no support for it. Cops don't want it. Cities don't want it. Businesses don't want it. because nobody understands. It's like people don't understand that there's a difference, right? Like there's different types of people within the car community. And unfortunately, when you're on the outside, you tend to lump everybody together. It's like, oh, you're a car guy, you're a car girl. Like you're all the same. You know, the same way that people just kind of lump in like the whole takeover kids, like, oh yeah. It's like, oh, those are car people. No, they're not car people. They're not car people. They're just out here fucking wilding out doing dumb shit. Like they don't know a goddamn thing about a goddamn thing. So those people aren't even actual people, in my opinion. Like I can't even look at them and like acknowledge them in any way, shape, or form. I think if you align with that culture, fuck the fuck off. You're the problem. Like literally, you single-handedly are the problem. You, your entire community, you are the problem. You guys are the reason why people like myself and other enthusiasts can't roll around in peace. That's why we can't host events. That's why we can't go to events. That's why we got to watch our street time and watch where we're going and watch what we're doing, because there's always somebody looking and always somebody assuming. And that's the fucking problem now. For myself, I've never been a fan of street time. And most of my homies know. They're probably laughing about it right now with me talking about it, because that's a phrase that I have. I'm just like, no street time, because I don't like it. I don't like it. Me personally, with my car, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't need more time for cops or for anybody else to see my car like that. Like I don't need to be out in the open like that. I need to get on the highway, do what I need to do, exit my freeways, take my streets, get where I need to go, and then get the fuck back. Like that's how I am. That's how I drive. That's how I do it. Like it's not a thing for me anymore, but it's something that I'm very, very cognizant of, because I need to be. I don't need the fucking problems. I don't want the problems. But now, with this culture that's exploded to the point that it's gotten to, it's fucked everything up. And I'm not saying that that's the blame for like Irwindale and shit like that closing down. That's not what I'm trying to point out. But I am pointing everything at them as to why things have become more difficult. And I think that's why laws are being passed, certain things are being kind of driven a certain way, because it's trying to kill the culture here. And that's what happens, right? Like it only takes one bad apple to ruin the bunch. And it's like, regardless if it doesn't align with you or you don't fuck with it, other people don't understand. Law enforcement doesn't understand. They're just like, oh, cars, same person, same people. And in fact, we're not. We're completely different. But losing a space that you can go, express yourself, have a good time, do what you need to do in a safe and controlled environment, removing that from the community, I personally don't think is the smartest fucking thing to do. Because even in the comments of the statement that was released, it was funny because Albert sent me a quote from one of the comments. And it was like, cops tell you to go to the track. And then after that, it was like, removes track. So it's like, where are people supposed to go now? Where are you trying to push people to? Because there's nowhere around here. There is no longer any tracks around here that you can go to. And granted, okay, if you want to get really fucking specific and point shit out, yeah, there's AVS. AVS is a go-kart track. It's for drifting. Fucking sick. That's cool. Like, I enjoy that track. It's just, there's something really intimate about it. I've been to some really, really badass events there. So I have a special place in my heart for it. There's also Adams in Riverside, which is an absolute piece of shit. Don't like that track. Don't give a fuck about it. Like, no, it's just a hard no. But either way, it's like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Like, to me, that is not the culture. Like, yes, we've all kind of been there. We've all been to things and seen things and whatever the fuck. That's great. Adams to Adams, it's fine. But it's no Irwindale. There's nothing here anymore. You know, now you're talking about going out into the fucking Antelope Valley, going out to Riverside County, like heading out way the fuck that way. The culture is here. The culture is LA. When you come here, it's a vibe. When my homies come here to visit from any other state, any other country, this is where you come to check shit out. You're not like, oh, I'm going to come here so then I can go an hour and a half to 2 hours north so I can go see some shit. Like, nope, this is where it's at. Irwindale was right up the street for a lot of us. And that's obviously figure of speech. Like, it's not, for me, it's not up the street. But, 20 minutes down the freeway is nothing. 30 minutes from downtown type of shit is nothing. So we don't have that anymore. And it sucks. And I know it's bigger than us, right? You're talking about corporations, you're talking about money, you're talking about property. There's all these other factors that are coming into play. And I get it. I get it. If you've been to Irwindale, you understand just the fucking size of that place. It is so huge. Irwindale's fucking huge. The track itself, the space. Like, if you've had to park at the fucking end of Irwindale, you already know. You know how big it is. When you have to walk from the end wall all the way to the drag track, you're like, what the fuck, dude? This is insane. Like, we've already cleared a couple blocks. And it's like, yeah, you've cleared a couple blocks. You're getting your steps in that day. If you ever have to park at the fucking gate, and you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who've been there and you've had to park at the end, you already know what's up. But it's massive, right? And things are changing. Same thing that happened with AAA, right? You're talking about corporations, you're talking about money, you're talking about property. Too much going on. And it's sad now because even Albert mentioned it. And he's like, dude, it's weird to see like AAA, but then there's like buildings everywhere, like all over the place, everywhere where the track used to be, everything that was around it. Like it's buildings now. You have these things, these structures that are just coming up. And it's like, fuck, dude, that's where memories used to be. That's where shit used to go down. You know, whether it was like drift demos or car shows or anything like that. That's where shit used to happen. And the same thing's happening at Irwindale, right? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who bought it. I don't know what the situation is. But at least going off what this statement is, like, it's over. The legacy is done. So I think the community as a whole has taken a massive hit. And it's, granted, it's only been 24 hours, maybe a little less than, actually a little bit more than 24 hours because they released it in the morning yesterday. But it's wild the waves that it's making, because you're having all these massive, like, professional race car drivers and just people who are very influential within the community that are speaking on this. And they're putting out videos and saying, dude, like, this is crazy. How is this going to happen? Where do we go? What are we going to do? Right? Because those people, imagine how it affects us, and then look at how it's going to affect them. Because now what? Right? Like, even speaking, like, super, like, off the top, right? Formula Drift, we're losing an event there. Moon Eyes, losing huge events that would go down there, gone forever. And so on and so forth. There's a ton of other events that take place there that are no longer going to be there. And it's like, so where do those things go? Where do they get moved to? What's going to happen? So there's so many questions, and so many people are like, what the fuck? And I think I'm not going to say it came at a great time, but it kind of did come at a great time, because you have the SEMA crunch right now. Like, there's people that are finishing up their builds, that are on their way to Vegas, doing their whole thing, getting SEMA'd up, right? It's peak season right now. This is where it fucking, the hammer hits the nail. And now all of these people in the industry are going to be speaking about it, because it's going to be the topic of conversation. It's not even about the products anymore. It's not about the cars. Everyone is going to be talking about this. And it's like, what the fuck do we do now? Irwindale's gone. What's left? And what's next? What do we do? Is there going to be another track? Who's going to make it? Who's going to back it? What's going to happen? Because then you have all these major title sponsors all over the place for all kinds of things. And it's like, well, why aren't you guys stepping up? Why isn't something happening? Is it a bigger problem? Is it, so like, there's so many questions that can be asked. But I think as a community, we've had a major loss. For me, it's almost like a death, because I'm just like, fuck, like, I'm just sitting here reminiscing about everything. From one of the first times I went to the track to moments I've seen the fastest cars in my life, like, ever. And I've seen them there. And being there with homies and, like, watching, their older brothers race their fucking cars and do certain things, and be sitting there and, like, getting off the track and modding and doing tuning and this and that. Okay, cool. We need to adjust boost here. Okay, we need to change the timing. We need to fucking do this, do that. And it's like, fuck, dude, like, all that shit's gone now. And it was crazy because I have a buddy of mine that does drag, and he posted today on his story. And it was like he was driving past Irwindale and he was just like taking a video of it. And he's like, it's wild that I'm going to be driving past this place and I'm going to be telling my kids about this and like other people just in story. Like, oh, where these buildings are, there used to be a racetrack there. And like, that's where I used to race. And that's the weirdest thing, is like having moments like that where you're like, well, this used to be this used to be that. And times change. Shit happens, right? Like on the same kind of like corporate note, it's almost like for those of you who've been to Moon Eyes here, like the actual headquarters in Santa Fe Springs, you know what that area is. You know what it's always been for fucking ever since the beginning of time. Last year, like this past summer, when they had their open house, I think that's the first time that it really just kind of socked everybody in the face, because across the street, there used to be this really iconic, like, it was like a shop and then it kind of shifted into like a party supply type situation. But basically that building was always there. People always used to kick it, post up for the summer event. You see lowriders, hot rods, badass shit, bikes, all kinds of dope shit. I actually have a video from not this summer, but the summer before. I shot that Moon Eyes. And that was the last time that building was there. Or anything that was kind of remotely like it was. That was the last time. And I shot that. And I'm so glad that I was able to capture that and that I shot video that fucking year, because it doesn't look like that anymore. It's all fucking gone. And it's going to be, high-rise type shit. There's going to be a living situation. There's going to be food, and there's going to be this. There's going to be that. And everyone was already talking about it at Moon Eyes. Well, like, dude, next year is going to be fucking trash. Because all these people are going to be bitching about parking, right? Because there's going to be hot rods and lowriders everywhere. And it's like, where do we go? How do we park? How do we do this? And it's like, it sucks, dude, because all that shit is kind of pushing out the culture. Because now it's like, well, where the fuck are we supposed to go? What are we supposed to do? And granted, it's not the fucking city's responsibility. It's not corporations' responsibilities to fucking make sure that people like myself, auto enthusiasts, have a place to go, have a place to be. It's not their responsibility. But when you don't have a place to go and express yourself and to just kind of do your thing, what do you do from there? Right? Like, what do you do when the culture can no longer thrive? Where do you go? And that's why I feel like you're seeing all these other states that their culture is thriving and their culture is pushing, because I feel like when a giant starts to fall, when the crumbles hit the ground, people pick up those crumbles and they run off with them, right? So you're seeing places like Arizona start to get a lot bigger. Shit start to boom. Texas has always been a heavy hitter. They've always had a massive car culture, but it's growing even more. Colorado's kind of starting to sprout up too. Utah starting to sprout up too. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool just to kind of see these different places. Like, hey, you know what? We need to like kind of shine our bat signals to let people know, yo, you can come here. It's safe. There's a culture. There's something. It might not be what you're used to, but it's something. And it's moving. It's building. So that type of shit is cool. But it's wild to watch the giants fall. I think that's what I'm really trying to get at with, like, what does this mean to the community? We are sitting here, us as a whole, and we're watching these giants fall because there's no support here. There's nothing. You're looking at the industry as a whole in California, and it's pointing everybody to leave. It's pointing everyone to move out. You have all these tuning companies, shops, fabricators, anything like, they're all dipping the fuck out of California. They're all dipping the fuck out. Like, there's a major like steel manufacturer. They kind of work within exhaust and stuff like that. It's called JMD Tubing. They're dipping out, which is fucking crazy. Crazy, dude, because they've been here for fucking ever. And they're a staple. So they're dipping out. Again, all these heavy hitters, and it's just like, they're going east. They're going east. They're hitting Texas or going to fucking Seattle. They're going to all these different fucking places, the Utah, Midwest, anywhere. Because they're just like, we got to get the fuck out of here because we can't deal with the fines. We can't deal with this, these regulations. And Oh, we need to go green this. It's like, fuck, man, we got bigger problems to worry about than this shit. And I'm not saying they're attacking us, they're coming after us. That's not what I'm saying. But I think with everything that's going down, laws that are being passed, the focus that's kind of being shifted a little bit, it almost does feel like the automotive community as a whole is being targeted, and it sucks. It sucks. I hate it. Shit, I gotta think about it all the time. I think about it for the homies. I worry for them when they take their cars out. And there was one point where I didn't give a fuck about anything. I was like, whatever, dude. We out here. Let's mob out. But it's like, hold on. Where are we mobbing to? What's popping? Because I might be okay, but if I have a homie with me that has a motor swap, and like, he's not gonna be okay. So if we go somewhere as a group, hey, we got to put him in the middle. We got to put him towards the front. Get cars in front of him, get cars behind him, on the side of him, type shit. Shield him out. Because if one of us gets taken out, fuck it, dude. I'll take the hit. I'll take the ticket, whatever it needs to be. But it's like, if my boy gets reffed, he's fucked. What's he going to do? And it's kind of always been that way. So I know for some people listening and watching, you're probably like, what, Dick? It's always been like that. It has, but it's a lot different now here in SoCal. Because now these fools really fucking know. They really know what's fucking going down, what people are about, what motors are what, swaps, how to look out for shit, how shit sounds. Like, they're sharking for it. So it's like, it's hard for the culture to thrive here. And what are you supposed to do as an enthusiast, right? Like, you want to keep doing your thing. You want to mod. You want to fuck around. You want to have a good time. You want to make memories with the homies. But when you're in a place that doesn't let you kind of grow, or it doesn't thrive, or it can't thrive, man, it gets fucking tiring. It's kind of like you watch those movies, and I'm not trying to compare this in any way, shape, or form, but it's like you watch these movies on like prohibition and shit like that, right? Where people wanted to drink, it's illegal, couldn't do it, so they started running shit, right? And it's like, we got to get this from here to here, we got to get it there fast. Got to be able to outrun the cops. Got to be able to do this. And you look at things like that and you're like, damn, I'm not saying that that's our car culture right now. But to a certain extent, it kind of feels like that. Where you gotta outrun things. You gotta outrun the law. You gotta be smarter than the law. Hey, can't go here around this time. Hey, you gotta go around this spot. Oh, if you're gonna go through this part of town, you gotta fucking go the long way. You gotta cut through this street, XYZ. That type of shit. That's really how it feels like. You gotta be smart. You gotta be fucking smart about shit. Because if not, it's like you're gonna get caught slipping. And I think that's when you drop that guard, that's when shit gets fucked up. Right? Like, you can never get too comfortable. I think you always gotta keep your head in a swivel. You always gotta stay looking out, always gotta stay watching. It's really fucking important to do that. But now, losing Irwindale again, I don't think the local community has anywhere to go. You have all these kids, let's say, that are in this whole fucking scene, right? Of like takeovers and just, troqueando fools and all this bullshit, that actually would follow the laws, and they follow the rules, and they say, hey, you know what? I love this shit. I want to go do burnouts. I want to get crazy, but I'm going to do it at the burn box. And they would. They go. They pay their $10, do their thing, fuck their trucks up, fuck their cars up, slide them for all these people to watch. That's what they want, right? Like, people want an audience. They want to be looked at. They go over there, they do their shit safely. Their car catches on fire, there's fucking fire department there. Psh, they go put their shit out. If they get hurt, they get fucked up, there's paramedics right there. They're going to help you out. What do all these people do? Right? Because they're going to pay too. The people who are following the rules, that are going to the right places at the right times, it's fucked up because now they got to pay the price on top of everybody else. Because it's like, well, got nowhere to go. And they're like, oh, dude, what was it? Somebody in the comments is talking about there being an influx of like street racing and shit starting to come back like that. And I honestly think that's what's going to happen too. Because if nobody has anywhere to go do it, they're going to find somewhere to do it. And I'm not saying it's going to go back to like it was back in the day. It's not going to be like the Ontario days and shit like that. If you know about those, you're a real one. You're around, obviously, for a good time. Like the Compton days, shit like that, like off Alondra, like Alameda, all these different streets out there that was just fucking hot for that shit. All of it. all of it. Like it was a different time. I don't think it'll get that hot again. I don't think shit's gonna go way back there. Not that those things still don't happen, because obviously they do. Street racing will never go away. But do I think there's going to be an influx of it all? Yeah. Because again, people are going to get pent up. They're not going to know what to do. They're like, where the fuck do we go? Why is this happening? I don't have anywhere to fucking express myself. Let's get down. Freeway shit, street shit, it's all going to fucking blow up again, whether they want to or not. And I don't think they realize that. And they won't realize it until it's already happening, where it's like, oh, all these things are blowing up. You took away people's one place they could go and do this shit safely, right? They'd pay their fees, they'd do their shit, line up at the track, go to the burn box, whatever it may be, and they could go have a good time safely. And you just took that away from everybody. It's fucking gone now. So the community has to figure things out, and people are going to get crafty. And sometimes getting crafty isn't always a positive thing, right? But I know for me and the homies, even though it's, again, a little bit over a day, we're all kind of going through it. Like even one of my homies, Jose, this morning, he sent me a video of his S13, which he still has. It's super fucking badass. Turbo KA, sick as all shit. And he had taken it to Irwindale for a drift event. And it was like him, my homie Albert, a couple other buddies that were there, and they're in this video. And he's just like, dude, this is crazy. This is my car at Irwindale. I'm like, that's so badass. You know, he sent me like a Vimeo link. And I was already like, the fact that he sent me a Vimeo link, I was like, this is my shit. This is my shit. Because you already knew if somebody ever sent you a Vimeo link and that was in the automotive community, it was like, ooh, some sort of event coverage or some shit that was going down, you know? And it was so tight to watch that. But it's sad as fuck because you're like, dude, this is gone. It's about to be over forever. And now all we have is like memories. And same thing with Albert. Like he sent me a picture of his GC getting down at Irwindale when he was doing autocross. And he's like, this is all I have. And stories. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's sad. Because we're all going to have that shit. We're all going to have these moments where it's like all we have are these pictures. All we have are our memories and stories and all that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it boils down to for a lot of things. That's all we end up having is just stories, is memories, is things like that. And that's why I always tell my homies now, I'm like, shoot everything. Take pictures of fucking everything. Take pictures of homies. Take pictures of yourselves. Anything. Your cars. All of it. Document everything, because at one point that shit might not be there. You might not ever have that experience again. At least for that moment in time, you froze that and you have it. And it's sad. It's so fucking sad. And I was looking at the event list, and I mean, for sure, there's 2 events that are coming up that I'm going to be attending before they close down. And I was talking to Albert about it today before recording, and I'm like, dude, you know what? I'm just going to be shooting photo at these events. I don't want to do video, because the thing about video is I love shooting. Like I love shooting video. It's my favorite fucking thing. Like just to sit there, take my time, get the shot, do what I have to do, make sure it's like everything's good, and then put it all together for you guys and drop like a dope ass edit. Like it's one of my favorite fucking things to do. But it requires so much of my attention, and it's fucked up because I end up not enjoying the event. And I have to kind of live through the video that I shot, because I can't sit there and conversate with people, because it's like I'm too stressed about shooting and getting everything and all of that. And it's like, I don't want to do that for these things. I'd rather get pictures and shoot us smiling and laughing and just kind of living and enjoying. I'll shoot cars. I'll shoot everything. That's fine. But at least I want to record the memories that way. Because I want to be present. I want to spend time with my homies and have drinks and kick back and shoot the shit and laugh. And I want to be there for it. And if I'm doing video coverage, I literally cannot do that. It's not possible. Because my only focus is to capture everything that's happening. So I lose my focus, and it ends up being just complete work. And it's like, nah, dude, I don't want that. Especially for the final events that I'm ever going to experience at this place, I want to be fully present for that. I want to be there with the homies. I want to make these memories. That way, in the future, with my homies' kids or however, anybody I come across, it's like, oh, dude, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you some shit. Because to me, that's what's fucking important. It's being able to have and hold on to those things. So I want to be present for all this shit. But I don't understand what the culture is supposed to do here. Like, I don't know how we're supposed to continue thriving because the system is fighting for us to not thrive. It's fighting for us to not stay alive. Like, it's trying to keep us underwater. And I think at some point, at least with the way things are going or how they're kind of pointed, I think the newer car culture, it's eventually going to die here, like in California, because there's too many laws against too many things, and it's just getting tough. It's getting tough. You can't, dude, how many parts that you can think of right now off the top of your heads, for those of you guys who are here in SoCal, think about how many fucking parts we can't even order in the state. Like, that you just cannot get at all because they will not ship to California. That was already an issue in itself, right? But now that parts list is growing. And you got to fucking think about different ways to get shit here. And, oh, I'm going to send it to my homie who stays in this state. And then he can ship it personally to me because it's not business to business or business to person, whatever the fuck it is. And like, man, these loopholes get fucking tiring. It ends up being so much energy, so much time invested into all this shit. And you're just like, oh, dude, is it even fucking worth it anymore, bro? Like, I don't want to fucking do this. I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I just want to do my thing. I don't want to get fucked with. And it's like, I can't even just do that. I can't even just enjoy my fucking hobby. And because, I mean, we don't build the cars that we build so that they can stay parked in the garage, right? We build them so that we can mob out. We can go enjoy ourselves. We can do our things and go to events and link up with people who are like-minded. And maybe, you know, that we have a club together, or we want to go to this fucking thing that we go to, like 240 Tuesday, right? I bring that up so often because I feel like it's one of the only events that goes down that people like myself can actually look forward to, that we can go somewhere safe, right? Which is fucking insane if you think about it, because it's in Brea of all fucking places. For those of you guys who are local to Brea, or you kind of know about like the Fullerton area roughly, you know how shit it is, man. Like, you can't have a modded car or anything close to a fucking modded car around there because they will fucking get your ass and they'll fucking sock it to you, dude. They will sock it to you. They'll look at your stickers and be like, fuck this fool. Obstruction of vision. They fucking throw you down for everything. Oh, you got weird center caps. Oh, fucking whatever. Like, they come up with some dumb shit, but they have laws for everything, right? But that one meet is a safe place that we can go. We can go kick back, listen to music, kick it with the homies. We have support from the Hat, which is fucking sick. That is the coolest fucking shit in the world. You have a place that is a staple for Southern California in general, right? Like, just for food, and they support us being there, and they fuck with us, and they're like, nah, come through, because we blow up sales for a whole ass day. And it might not seem like a lot, but on a regular ass Tuesday that you maybe you'd make all right money, but what if we could triple that, or 4 or 5 times that amount of money? Then that makes a difference in your sales. That kind of drives things a little bit differently, right? So we have their support for multiple reasons. We have a safe place to go, but there's nothing else out there. Really think about it. There's nothing else out there that's fucking safe anymore. Because our Thursday night drags are gone now. All that type of shit is gone now. What do we do? What are the staples? What's going down? Because even cars and coffees, like, yeah, they still go down and they're still fucking heavy, and they're going to continue growing, right? But there's so many now that are getting sharked, and you have people that are literally just waiting for fools to leave, and they're fucking lighting them up, you know, entrapment. And these people don't know about any of these laws or any of these things. So they're out there thinking they're just going to go for a quick little Sunday drive. They're trying to leave and go home. Next thing you know, they're getting state rough and their car's on a fucking trailer. It's like, God damn, dude, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So these are things that you always got to think about. You always have to consider. And it's like, oh man, where's everything headed? Like, I don't know. I'm concerned as an enthusiast. I think about it all the time. And when I see shit like this going down, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what's next? what's next? What's going to go down in California? What other laws are going to get passed that's going to stop me from doing what I'm trying to do? It's like, y'all got bigger problems to worry about. There's like people out here committing crime, fucking around doing dumb shit and getting away with it. But, you know, if I'm out here driving around on a stretched tire, or I'm fucking too low, or whatever the fuck it may be, apparently that's more of a fucking hazard than this motherfucker who just broke into Nike and harassed all these people and just stole like 2 G's worth of fucking shit. You know, and it's like, that's not a fucking problem, but me driving around with a stretched tire and because I'm all slammed, like, that's a fucking problem? You think that's a fucking hazard? Or, oh, because I fucking modded my car and it sounds a certain way or it does a certain, you know, noise or whatever, that's more of an issue than motherfuckers out here robbing shit, doing bad shit? Like, nah, dude, like, we got it so upside down here. Like, when my homie Ben was here from the UK, he was asking me about the whole, you know, I don't want to get like too crazy political, but I do want to talk about this really quick. He was asking me about just the whole, like, the laws that protect people who are out here doing bad shit. And he's like, dude, is that stuff real? Like, you know, I see videos and certain things, but he's like, can you really just like walk into a store and kind of like take whatever you want? I said, yeah, like obviously you can take up to a certain amount. And once you break that amount, then they can kind of go after you or it can be an issue. But people can just, for the most part, you can walk into anywhere, take anything you want and just dip the fuck out. And no one can touch you. No one can, you know, nothing can happen. You're going to get a slap on the wrist and that's it. So that type of shit is very fucking real. And he couldn't believe it because he's like, dude, in the UK, there's nothing like that. Like, we don't stand for any of that shit. And I was like, dude, for a lot of fucking places, they don't stand for a lot of that shit. I was like, but here, like in Cali, why do you think people rush here to like do bad shit? Because there's laws that protect you. Like, you're cool. Everything's fine. Like, what is it? Even, it's wild just being here in the States and seeing certain shit go down, right? Like, what is it? The Menendez brothers or whatever, like, I think that's their names. Like, those fools are gonna get released by fucking Thanksgiving. You're like, what the fuck? These fools committed murder. And they're just like, all right, it's cool. We're gonna let these fools go. And granted, yeah, like, you know, they've served fucking years, but it's like, holy shit. Like, what the fuck's happening? Like, everything's fucked up. Everything's fucked up. And it's wild. It's wild. But just, again, speaking specifically on car shit, I think things are pointing into a direction where it's like, I don't understand how we're supposed to thrive. And it's scary. I don't like the thought of it. You know, Willow Springs, all these things, like, just tanking, heading down. And you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? That shit makes me sad. You know, I got homies out here having kids. And it's like, what are we supposed to show them? Where are we supposed to take them? You know, these are conversations that we would have. We'd be sitting there at the track and be like, oh man, you know, this is going to be sick. When the homie has, you know, when his little boy's born or when he gets old enough, we're going to bring him out here to the track. You know, we'll strap him up in the car, take him out for a little spin, you know, hit the little drift pad, do what we got to do. Get him exposed to all these things, get her exposed to all these things. Just the kids, like, showing the next generation the shit that was shown to us. And we're getting to raise the next generation in that. But it's like, what are we going to show them? We're going to be just in the garages all the time. Oh yeah, we do this. We got nowhere to go, but we have this, you know, 1,000 horsepower 240 or whatever the fuck it may be. So it's a crazy thought. It's a crazy fucking thought. So I was trying to think of some advice for this episode and I was like, well, what the fuck? What advice could I give after just kind of talking about like the track and all this bullshit? And my advice for you, if you're in the automotive community, is just get out there and finish your damn car. If you have a project car, fucking call the homies, get your shit together, grab a couple beers, put some fucking asada on the grill, put on some jams, and get to fucking wrenching. Make that shit happen, dude, because I don't know what's going to go down in the next couple years. Shit's wild out here. So I say enjoy it while you can. Get out there, make the memories, take the photos, videos, whatever. And just fucking get to wrenching because things are changing and they're changing hella fast. So I appreciate you guys for coming for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it sparks conversation. Maybe it made you think a little bit, maybe not. I don't fucking know. But I just want to talk about car shit again. This is something. As soon as I saw this, I was like, dude, I can't avoid it. I gotta talk about it. And originally, I was gonna have a guest on here to talk about it with, but I was like, nah, let's talk about this real quick. And if we continue to talk about it, then cool. It is what it is. But thank you guys for everything that you do, all your love, all your support. I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful rest of your week, an incredible weekend. And I will catch you guys on the next one.